Yeah, 316. Got game and pulled out his own Atari. I said sorry, I'ma have to pass like Nash to Amari. Tiger up early on a Sunday, sinking birdies while the pigskin spinning through the air, tight and birdie. It's a TD, it's a TKO, a home run, it's a hat trick. Ain't no way to be an all-star without practice. So if you down to sacrifice your life for a draft pick, it's a pretty sweet position you can live in if you have some things in the air. If you got game, wake up like you just don't care. If you got game, playing like you got no fit, and you got game. If you came here to win, yeah, you got game.
Welcome, everybody, to We Talk Raw. I'm your host today, Jennifer Busco, and I am excited to introduce Miss Kurma Murrain. Kurma, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great today.
If I had a nickel for every time I heard your name, I would be flying a private jet here to
I
our rBeatz
know.
studio from your partner, Terry Hudson.
I'm
So
very
Kurma
fortunate. Very,
is-
very fortunate.
Kurma is married to our other fellow rBeatz host, Mr. Terry Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
So I would also like to say my boyfriend calls me his queen.
Oh,
But-
amazing.
And you can't have two queens in one room, honey. So, but you are the real queen. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
rBeatz Radio. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
So we will get to the queen. We'll get to your queen talk. But let's
Yes.
start first with where you're from and how you got here today to the U.S.
Oh, well, it's a long story, but I can make it short. I'm from Colombia, South America, not South Carolina.
You don't sound like you're from Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, well, some people can say.
Really? That's
Yeah, they have
hysterical.
said, oh, South Carolina. Oh, cool. And I'm like,
Not quite.
okay.
No judges.
But I was born in Colombia a few years back, a few decades back. And I just had this dream about the United States. You guys advertise this country very well.
Have we made it up to your standard of what you thought this was going to be?
I think you are doing great.
Great.
Yes, for the most part.
Right. For the most part.
the most
We
part.
have some holes.
Yeah. So since I was very little, just watching TV and the movies, I started dreaming about coming to the United States. I didn't think that was possible because we didn't have any money. I didn't
Were you
know about
urban,
passports.
like Columbia, or like rural? Like what was your...
It was the city. It was
city. Okay.
Yeah. I was born in the capital where the Black population is very, very small. So most of the time, my brother and I were like the only Black kids
Mm.
in any given place. So that was kind of funny, but it made me feel very special as well because I was always the different person in the
Yes.
room. So
And I love that you are so loud with your style because I feel like typically people that felt like they stuck out as a child end up sort of being more demure with their, you know what I mean? But you're like, no, this is who I am. I'm loud and I was loud. I
yeah,
love it.
well,
Bold.
I had a very special mother, and
Aw.
maybe my husband has told you about her. She was just the life of the party. She designed her own clothes, and she was just a free spirit. She called herself that. I'm a free spirit, and here I am. So I think her spirit is talking really loudly these days. Yeah. So when I finished college, I had the opportunity to come to the United States for a summer camp. And I just loved everything. I was like,
What
this is
state?
incredible.
Somewhere
I
around
went to New Jersey.
Okay.
I forgot the name of the camp. But I had the opportunity to just share life with American people and learn about traditions and food. And I now know that a party in the United States is not dance, dance, dance.
What is it? Booze, booze, booze?
Yes.
Booze and food. We're fat here in America.
Well, some people are, but I mean, you are free to be whoever you want to be. Yes. Uh, from that, I just started thinking I need to come back. I need to come back, and I came for a second time, also for a short period of time. And in the end, I decided to apply for an international program for teachers. I was an English teacher in Colombia,
Got it.
so I I applied. And they called me to tell me you cannot be in the program right now because you need to have driver's license for at least 2 years before you come.
Like
I
an
was
American
like,
driver's license? Or
No, any driver's license, but I didn't know how to drive. I didn't know anything about cars because I relied on public transportation all my life. I was just, I have to wait 2 years just to see if I have to. But what is the alternative? Not to do it? So
you did it.
I did it. I took my classes, I passed the test, and well, it was just very long. I was taking seminars. I had to do a lot of interviews. It was a very hard program. I mean, anyone who is here through that program, they are superheroes.
Really?
Yes, it was very hard. So in the end, they told me there was a school in Charlotte, North Carolina, that wanted me to work at. Oh, I have a lot of problems with prepositions, so please forgive me.
No worries.
Okay, thank you. And I look at the map because I had told them I want to go to California, the sun and
Other
the
coast.
nice life. I didn't know what Charlotte was. And I was really concerned because there are 10 million people in Bogota. And when I look at the people in Charlotte, it was only maybe 800,000 people at the time.
What year was this?
That was the 2004.
Okay.
So this year I'm
20
celebrating
years.
20
Yeah.
years. Yes. I thought it was going to be a little town in the middle of nowhere. I was really concerned about, I'm a city girl. I don't want to be surrounded by cows or whatever. But I was dating somebody, and this is crazy because he was
Terry, earmuffs.
he was from Italy.
Oh.
He was an actor who came to Bogota for the International Theater Festival. And when I told him I was going to go to Charlotte, he told me his best friends lived here. I'm like, what?
Small world.
That was like incredible. That was all God who was sending me to this guy. And then
you were meant to be in Charlotte.
I was meant to be here. And the proof is all the things that have been happening and meeting my soulmate here. So what else can I ask for? And I arrived in 2004. I started teaching at South Meg High School, and it goes from there.
Right. And so you're heavily involved in the poet community, the arts community here. So talk about your place in that community and how you sort of fell into that or how you got into that.
Well, initially, when I was a teacher, I had a colleague who was from Spain, and he told me there was a poetry contest at the museum for Latinos. And I was very excited. So I started going to this contest and I started winning. Well, I won 3 consecutive times.
Ooh. Did you have any experience in that or just from teaching and studying?
Well, I've always been a poet. So I did the same when I was in Colombia. I published my first book in Colombia, and it's called Esta Soy, This Is Who I Am. I was invited to libraries, schools, colleges. So I was doing that already in Colombia. So to have this opportunity to do it in the United States, I was just ecstatic. Like, oh my gosh, I'm reading poetry
Living
here.
the dream, honey.
Living the dream, yeah. In Spanish initially. And from there, I started meeting artists from different backgrounds, a lot of Latin American people, a lot of creatives, and that broadened my circle. I was in heaven. I was in heaven just from having one talent at the time, just reading poetry or sharing my poetry with the world.
I love it. So I actually hung out with another poet this week, which is so random that I have two poets in my energy this week. But so let's talk about that. Like, is poetry becoming a lost art? Is it thriving with all the things, you can just put something in ChatGPT and they can pop out a poem for you, right?
I hope not.
Oh, it's possible. I know you can. You can just say a couple
I haven't
things.
even tried.
So what, how is poetry sort of parallel with like our evolution with all of technology and all the things that are going on?
I wish I could answer.
Well, is it thriving in Charlotte?
It is thriving in Charlotte. We have star poets like Blues Rogers. I think he was in the program, and he was interviewed by Terry.
Oh,
he is an Emmy winner poet who works for the Blumenthal right now. Also, Jay Ward, who is our first poet laureate. We have Shane. We have a poet called Superman. We have Frank Expressions. So there are a lot of very good poets here. There are poetry festivals, poetry gatherings everywhere. Jose Vasquez, who is from Mexico, he has a poetry gathering at VAPA every 3 months.
I love VAPA.
Yes. So people love it. I didn't think they would love poetry. It's not like...
It's so classic to me. That's what, it feels like it's been around forever, and it just feels very classic and hopefully timeless.
Yeah, the poets were the first teachers of humanity. So here you go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the art of writing poetry. So it's a creative endeavor, right? So do you feel like you channel the poetry through sort of like a creative energy or something bigger? Or what's your process like, and how do you feel like that happens?
It is very simple. I feel that I need to write, and I write. Except when I have been commissioned to write poetry. That has happened with Edwin Gill, who is a Colombian artist.
Yes,
you do?
Very well, yes.
Oh, well, he commissioned me to write a poem for his campaign, Flag of Hope, that is Ad Imaginon. So that's one poem that has gone all over with his campaign.
So when you sit down to write a poem, do you try to clear your mind first? Do you, get yourself right, or you just do it? Do you have a routine?
I don't have a specific routine, except that for the past year, I was doing 52 weeks of poetry challenge. So every week I was posting. Well, this week the topic is broken hearts, or this week the topic is how to write a letter, or something. So that centered me, because I had to write something every week.
Like a discipline or like a focus. So what is your book just a list of poems, or is there an intention with the books? Or tell us about your most recent book, which you just won Author of the Year, right? Here in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yes, that happened like 2 weeks ago. Queen City Awards.
Yes.
Yeah, they gave me the award of being the author of the year for my most recent book called Speak Louder. And I call it that because I had a dream.
I had a dream.
I had called it another thing. I had called it Open Book. And then I had this dream, and it was speak louder. And I just woke up and said, this is it.
Who do you think that was in your dream, or what do you think that was?
Good question.
Do you think it was like a deceased ancestor on the other side trying to help you? Do you think it was just the greater universal energy, God?
I know God speaks to me all the time. I just need to pay more attention.
Gotta listen. Yes. Sometimes we don't listen.
Sometimes we don't listen, and we get in trouble. Yeah, so I changed the title to Speak Louder. And I understand why, because I'm speaking about everything, about broken hearts, about leaving my country, about how I have so much trouble with my hair, about the injustices that have been happening with the Latino community and the African American community as well. So everything is there. And yeah.
So when people are reading your book and reading your poetry, what do you want them to feel? Like, do you want that to be like an emotion that's invoked in them? Do you want them to just see like the beautiful creativity that you offer? Like, what's your hope of the intention of the recipients?
I hope they know they are not alone, that all
Aw.
these emotions are common, even though we don't like to talk about them.
And there's only so many, like love, hate, fear, frustration. There's only so many emotions, and we
yeah.
all feel all of
Yes.
them on a daily basis. But I think that's so brilliant because when you're feeling an emotion so largely, like a lot of grief, a lot of sadness, a lot of anger, it can feel really lonely, especially if you don't have the right support system. And I think sometimes with me, I'm a healer. I have my SHIT together, but sometimes I can go really low. I can be in, that fear-based swimming pool, and it's hard to sort of, you have to pick and choose who you share that with because you don't want to come off as like hypocritical. But on the other side, we are all human. We do feel fear. We do have those lower vibrational, uncomfortable emotions. So I think that probably brings a lot of comfort to people that are reading the book.
Yes, that's what I have experienced when I do my poetry readings. People come to me afterwards and they tell me, wow, thank you. I was feeling that way because of so and so, and you just put it perfectly into words, and I feel so good. So that gives me a lot of satisfaction, and I also don't feel alone because other people don't think I'm crazy.
And so there's also like a performance aspect to it as well. So talk to us about that. Like, how do you feel when you're on stage or like you're at like a spoken word or a poetry event?
Well, I want not to look at the public because it makes me a little nervous.
Where do you look?
But I do. Well, my eyes are looking, but
I'm like, where are you looking? You putting sunglasses on?
No, my eyes are there, but my mind is in another place, and I get into the message of my poetry, so I feel it, and what people see is what I'm feeling exactly. So recently I had an experience with Blues Rogers. He was invited to an event, and I was working at that event, but he felt something that compelled him to call me to the stage. And I was like, oh. He had to call me.
So he was
a couple
performing
of times.
on stage.
He was performing, and then he called me. It was, we were reading the names of the African American people and Afro Latino people that have been killed by the police. So it was a very, very touching moment, but he decided to say my name, and he asked me to share something. And I had written a poem based on the Great Migration. About 6 million African American people had to migrate inside their own country from the south to the north so they could find some peace or have a kind of a decent life because they had been killed here in the south. So I shared this poem, and so many good things have happened after that.
Wow. Yeah, that feels very divine.
Yes.
You're in the flow.
I hope I can be also this type of conduit because
I love that word.
He called me out. I want to call somebody out and tell them, you're important. You can do this. You got it. That's how I felt that day. Like, you, an award.
So when you're like performing, are you just standing there? Are you like, making it like
I don't even know what I'm doing.
Because you are a dancer, correct?
I am a dancer too. It seems I move my hands a lot when I'm performing, but it's not something that I do intentionally. They just
You're
move.
just feeling it. It's moving through your body.
They just move. So if I'm talking about the leaves and the wind, or even the feelings, the love, I'm always like pointing and moving my hands, but it's not something that I have practiced or done
it just
intentionally.
happens natural. I mean, I think it's very similar to probably a musician that you just kind of move and dance a little bit. It's like the music's moving through you. So let's talk about your dance.
Talk about my dance.
Yeah, you're a dancer. Well, you're a dancing queen.
I love dancing, and Terry can give you a testimony of that. I'm very social as well. But talking about my performances, I was part of the dance group in my university, Universidad Nacional de Colombia, and I learned how to perform on stage. We travel around and we won a lot of awards. So I come here. I didn't have any customs for dancing, but this Colombian singer, Franco Londoño, he was performing at J.C. Smith University a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago. Well, he calls me and he asked me to dance the Cumbia while he is singing this very famous Cumbia song. So I look for a custom. Somebody let me borrow it. And since then, I've been dancing everywhere. At festivals, at schools, at colleges.
And what kind of dance is it?
It
It's
is
very beautiful.
the Cumbia.
Okay, so is that like your native, like the dance of Colombia?
It is the most popular dance in Colombia.
Got it. And you wear
there are
beautiful
many.
dresses and costumes and garbs.
Yeah, well, I had to get some dresses made because I didn't have anything. So I'm using these gowns, and I love that they are so big that when you swirl, is like a little, what do you call it? Like a fountain, or I don't know. It's just fun to wear, and they are very feminine as well. And I love femininity, so I love to wear these dresses.
Yeah, it feels like part of your sort of brand and your place is visual in the sense of like you're gorgeous, your look is very bold and beautiful, and people are drawn to that.
Oh, thank
Correct?
you so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you also, people want to paint you.
People want
With
to
clothes
paint
on,
me.
right? Not off. On.
With clothes on. Yes.
Have you ever got the offer?
Well,
earmuffs, Terry.
No, but I have to tell you, I posed naked for Julio Gonzalez. He's a Mexican artist. He was painting my body. Painting my body for El Día de los Muertos. And there was an exhibition about that. So he exhibited the photographs.
Well, and you seem confident. You're confident with your
I am
your
very
womanness.
confident.
You're a queen, honey.
Yes.
There's 2 queens in this room.
Right.
According to my boyfriend, not Charlotte. Charlotte
You
does not
are.
think I'm a queen. My
You
boyfriend
are a
does.
queen.
So people like to paint you, and do they put the paintings like in museums or in their homes or all?
Well, one painter put my picture at the McCall Center. Oh my gosh, I just forgot his name. I'm so sorry.
We'll tag him. We'll tag him in the
Okay.
show notes on your page.
Eva Crawford made the campaign "The Good Neighbor," and she earned a grant to paint the faces of Charlotte. So and this was on an exhibition at the Vapa Center. But I think the most exciting and vibrant of all these has been Irisol Gonzalez. She's an artist from Costa Rica. She had an exhibition at the museum for 1 year called Interventions, and she called it Lavarse las manos, wash your hands. And she called it that way because she said in Latin America, but I feel in every country, women tend to ignore the bad actions of men. So we say,
like wash your hands of it kind of thing.
Just wash your hands. So, but she selected some women that she thought represented the Latin American community. One of them was her mother. She also included one of her sisters. Oh, there you go.
And there it is.
Yes. And she selected me because of my poetry. And I was so honored that she decided to do that. And as you can see, the person in the center was her first ESL teacher, which is beautiful. What an honor.
Wow, that's beautiful. And that's in Charlotte.
And
where is that? Uptown?
That was in Charlotte at the Museum
Oh,
Randolph.
the Museum. Got it.
But I really don't know where they moved it. Yeah. But it was there. It was there for 1 year. So
nice.
People saw it.
I have a quick question for you. Like,
Yeah.
what is a day in the life of Kurma Murrain? Like, so you're a poet and a dancer and you're beautiful. So are you just shopping all day for your beautiful clothes? and writing poetry? Like, what is a day in the life of Kurma like? You're not clocking in, are you, anywhere?
Every day is so different.
Living your own queen life.
Every day is so different. I try to exercise, and Zumba is my favorite class.
Fun.
Yes, I do Zumba all the time. I do Zumba when I'm at home. I do Zumba when I go to the gym. I'm dancing all the time.
I'm the same way. I think for creative people too, at least in my perspective, like working out and moving your body is just like such a way to get your energy right, to get to do things that are sort of outside of the box and non-traditional. Like for me, I have to work out or move my body, go for a run some way where it's like, okay, now I'm ready to live my non-traditional life.
Yes, I agree. I absolutely agree. So, and at some point of the day, sometimes I take a little notebook and I write. Well, actually, I don't have notebooks anymore because now I have my phone. So I just type there.
You know what I do? I talk to text on my notepad. That's like how I write blogs. And then I'll like copy that and put it into a Google Doc. But yeah, God bless technology.
Yeah.
We love old school poetry, but we love new school iPhones.
We do.
Am I right?
Yes.
You're welcome, Steve Jobs.
I do miss the notebook, the feeling of moving.
And they say there's like an energy to that. Like even with like stuff that you're calling into your life, actually putting a pen to paper, it sets out an energy. It's manifesting that buzzword. Yes.
There have been studies about the brain. It is very different for the brain to take a pen and write
versus typing too.
Type.
Yeah, typing or talk to text.
Yeah.
Speaking of talking to text and moving on, we'll be right back after this short break.
Great.
Welcome back to this week's segment of What's Trending Now on rBeatz Radio, Media, and Streaming Network. Upcoming local, national, and international concerts. Starting off with Starlight on 22nd Street. It's hosting its annual Open Hearts and Open Mic event, a free event on Tuesday, December 11th. Doors open at 7 p.m. You can learn more at starlighton22nd.com. Clockbox Theater presents Techno Vibrations, a disco and house vibration set with special artist DJ Gravedigger on Saturday, December 13th. Doors open at 10 p.m. You can get your tickets at blackboxcharlotte.com. Alan Walker is headed to the Fillmore next year on Thursday, January 30th, 2025. Doors open at 7:30 p.m. You can get your tickets at livenation.com. This is Annalise Pearl, bringing you all the new details on the latest trending watercooler conversations. Stay on top of the rBeatz app and rBeatz.com, always bringing you the best of the best independent, national, and international artists. Let's get started with this week's DJ World Beats top trending songs. Spinning now on 25A366, our global pop stream, DJ World Beats brings you Anyway I Love It by Carpet Man, Miley Cyrus with her song Give Me What I Want, Dark Side by Tijani featuring Boy Band. Spinning now on We Global Radio, our hip hop and R&B stream, we have Not Anymore by Mark L, Money Ties by Ren, Unable by Tulane, Ye-Wolf, and Tasty. Trending now on rBeatz Radio, our house and EDM stream, we have Is This Love by Danielle Ponder and LP Gibiani, Dubai Shit by Masick and Omada. Coming up on our Gospel Soul and Praise stream, The Vessel Radio, we have Straight Up by ASAP Preach and Lighthouse, I'm Still Here by Lathan Warlock. Closing out on Only Bangers Hits on Spotify, we have Love You Inside and Out by Main Course, Zodiac by Agents of Time, Red Vineyard by Diggy Graves, and Like That by Casanova. That concludes this week's countdown. Be sure to check in with us at each event for your chance to have your next hit announced on our social media sensation, What's Trending Now. Be sure to check in at RBTZ TV on YouTube and rbeatz.com. Just leave your name and phone number at each event for your opportunity to win cash prizes and a merch giveaway.
We're very honored to be here today and to form a partnership with Michael and bringing an American Hockey League team to Charlotte. We really feel that this is a huge step forward to the growth of hockey in North Carolina and in the South.
Scores! A deflection in front, and the Checkers win the series!
This is my new home.
but they score again. Sorla, it's the hat trick.
And Elkovich for the empty net. He scores! The longest game in American Hockey League history, and we are in the midst of it. Rebound chance, save back to goal. They're going to the Calder Cup Finals. The Charlotte Checkers are Calder Cup champions. They are the kings of the American Hockey League, and there's no one left to beat. Lorentz can win the game. Fake shoots!
It's been 590 days since the last hockey game in Charlotte, and the Checkers will don a new affiliate on their sweaters and a familiar face as their new captain.
Nash out in front, dangling. Shot, he scored! Checkers with it, rebound. Carlson buries it. We're back tomorrow night. On the right wing board, Samoskevich finds some ice shot. He scores, and the Checkers have their first lead of the Queen City Outdoor Classic. Number 124 for number 21, the new franchise record.
Welcome back to We Talk Raw. I am here with Mrs. Queen Kurma Murrain. Let's talk about your queenage. How did you get selected to be Queen of Charlotte?
Because of my poetry, because of my performances, and my visibility in the city. Hannah Hassan, who is a poet as well, she wrote a book called I Am Queen Charlotte, and she selected 50 African-American women who have impacted the culture in the city.
Wow.
Apart from that, they selected 5 stories to tell on stage, and they chose mine. And I was dancing my cumbia while my story was being told on stage at the Blumenthal and at the Night Theater.
That's beautiful. So are you a queen forever, or do you have to
I
hand your
am.
crown over to someone else?
I think I am.
I think you are as well.
Yes. Lavisha Rose, she asked me to be Queen Charlotte for the Charlotte Ball last year. And the Gold District that was also watching me, they designed this dress, or better, they got this dress made by a designer from the Philippines who designs gowns for the opera. They made this dress and they gave it to me. They gave it to me on the condition that only I can wear it, and I continue making appearances as Queen Charlotte.
That is beautiful. So where do you get your clothes? Because even your average regular day clothes, your street clothes, like right now, you're very bold and vibrant and beautiful.
I just look everywhere. Even
like, do you go to Marshalls, or do you
I do.
Do you have like people?
I do go to Marshalls. I found a jean jacket recently there that nobody else has. I don't know. Some stores. Every time I travel, I try to go to the thrift stores or to these stores that nobody knows. I try to get to places where they create just sensational stuff. And that's what I do.
I love it. That's beautiful. So do you love how unique you are? That there's like nobody like you?
I love it.
Married to Terry, first of all.
Oh, yeah. That's something.
Queen of Charlotte. Bold and vibrant, artistic.
Yes. Yeah. It wasn't something that I felt very loudly when I was a child, because there were a lot of problems. But here I am Afro-Latina, which I didn't know, but that makes me very exotic. Also, the way I dress and my words, my husband and manager, Terry Hudson, really encourages me with my poetry and my words. And it feels very special to be in another country and to be recognized for what I do.
Absolutely. It feels like you have made a huge splash in the Charlotte community. So what's next?
What's next?
Where's the Kurma Queen wave going in Charlotte next?
Well, I have started making videos with the Queen Charlotte gown, and these videos are dedicated to the Latin American community. I'm showing the Latin American community in Spanish the interesting places in the city, and I am also recording my poetry.
Ooh, that sounds beautiful.
At a
Are you going to
studio.
put music behind it? How does that work?
Yes.
Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds amazing.
we are planning to do so.
I'm sure Terry's going to have his hands in that project, right?
Yeah,
With
he
music?
does.
Oh, that's amazing.
And actually, some singers want to participate in the project, so there's going to be a few collaborations.
Oh, that would be so cool to like do some like oohs and ahs in the background, like some floaty
Yeah.
little ahs, oohs. That's what I'm
Ahs,
feeling.
oohs.
Yeah, like just in the background, just backing you up a little bit.
Yes.
Some angelic stuff.
Now that you say angelic, I love Maya Angelou, and I hope to be like her someday.
I love it. So how can people find you?
I'm on Instagram. My name and last name, just Kurma Murrain. And on Facebook, I am Kurma Murrain Poet. And also, Terry and I have a page. It is the Dreammaker and the Poet.
And is there a link on your page if anybody wants to purchase one of your books?
Oh, yeah, there is a link.
Perfect.
For Amazon. All my books are on Amazon.
So what advice would you give to someone that wants to be as unique as you are?
Just be you.
Love it.
Yeah, unapologetically.
Just be you. Pave your own path.
Yeah.
I love it.
It works.
It works. Be you. Authentic.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Kurma. So
Thank you.
Everybody run to Facebook and Instagram and follow Kurma and watch her journey.
And buy my books.
And her costumes. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, 316. Got game and pulled out his own Atari. I said sorry, I'ma have to pass like Nash to Amari. Tiger up early on a Sunday, sinking birdies while the pigskin spinning through the air, tight and birdie. It's a TD, it's a TKO, a home run, it's a hat trick. Ain't no way to be an all-star without practice. So if you down to sacrifice your life for a draft pick, it's a pretty sweet position you can live in if you have some things in the air. If you got game, wave 'em like you just don't care. If you got game, playing like you got no